Hey guys, did you know that you can substitute relative pronouns for other relative pronouns? Well, if you didn't, then yes, you can. And this is not always possible, but in many cases it is. So let's have a look at when it is possible to substitute one relative pronoun for another, like for example, which for that, or whom for who. Here's my video. So, today we're talking about substituting relative pronouns for other relative pronouns. If you haven't watched my relative pronouns in English introduction video yet, maybe it wouldn't be such a bad idea to watch it first. Anyway, most relative pronouns may be substituted for others. There is one, though, which can't be substituted: whose. This is the only relative pronoun that can be used as a possessive. All other relative pronouns, so who, whom, which, and that, can be replaced by others. So let's have a look at three categories based on how relative pronouns can be used. These are relative pronouns used as a subject, relative pronouns used as an object, relative pronouns used as a possessive. And now let's have a look at each of these categories one by one. So, relative pronouns used as a subject. Of the above-mentioned relative pronouns, three can be used as a subject: who, which, and that. If you refer to humans, who is typically used as the subject. Have a look. I like the girl who moved in next door. Now, this pronoun can be replaced by that. I like the girl that moved in next door. Now, if you refer to things, you usually use the pronoun that. I need a car that doesn't break so often. But this pronoun can be replaced by which. I need a car which doesn't break so often. Now, in the introduction to relative pronouns, I mentioned that there are two types of relative clauses: restrictive and non-restrictive relative clauses. I'm going to talk about these two types in more detail in one of my future videos, but the example here contains a restrictive relative clause. Now, in non-restrictive clauses, the pronouns who and which can't be replaced by that. Have a look. His nephew, who is born in Texas, wants to buy a house in South Carolina. This is a non-restrictive clause. We can't replace who by that. She told him the truth, which wasn't a good idea. Again, this is a non-restrictive clause, so here which can't be replaced by that. Now, relative pronouns used as an object. If you use a relative pronoun as an object, it depends whether you're referring to humans or non-humans. In the former case, you can use the pronoun whom. I just met the guy whom you introduced to me at the party. This is the object here. This use, although recommended by prescriptive grammar, is typically found in formal language. In everyday language, we replace the pronoun whom by who or that. I just met the guy who you introduced to me at the party, or I just met the guy that you introduced to me at the party. We can also omit the relative pronoun altogether, but I'm going to talk about omitting the relative pronoun in one of my future videos. Now, just like in case of relative pronouns used as a subject, there are some restrictions if we deal with the non-restrictive relative clause. In non-restrictive clauses, the pronoun whom can be replaced only by who, but not by that. Have a look. The exchange student from Japan, whom you met a couple days ago, just passed her math exam. So we can replace this by this. The exchange student from Japan, who you met a couple days ago, just passed her math exam. Now, relative pronouns used as a possessive. As mentioned before, whose is the only relative pronoun that can be used as a possessive, independent of whether you're referring to humans or non-humans. It can be replaced by any other relative pronoun. Have a look at this example. They gave the medal to the child whose final results were the best. So, as you can see, in most cases, you can substitute one pronoun for another, but not always. You must also take into account if you're dealing with a restrictive or non-restrictive relative clause, because things may differ here as well. Speaking of which, stay tuned for my video on restrictive and non-restrictive relative clauses, which is going to appear soon.
Okay, that's it for this video. If you like it, a thumbs up would be great. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos. If you want to leave a comment or ask a question, you're welcome to do so. Thanks for watching.